All right. We have a song to start us off, so I'm going to get that song pulled up so we can listen to it.
Yay, song.
It's a vocabulary.
Yay.
Oh yeah, vocabulary.
Yeah. Vocabulary. Order of operations. Now make sure you follow step by step. You know? Follow me. Yeah. I've been first and I've been last. Either way, I keep the order with PEMDAS. First is parentheses, then it's exponents. Yeah, you know this. I've been first and I've been last. Either way, I keep the order with PEMDAS. First is parentheses, then it's exponents. Multiply, divide, add, subtract. Yeah, you know when I evaluate expressions, I have some patience. I just follow the order of operations. I simplify to see what they do. Pem comes
It's glitching.
PEMDAS is the sequel. PEMDAS.
Is it glitching for all of us?
I cannot hear anything.
Okay.
It's
like
Hold on.
Panicky noises.
Okay. Then, since it's Flowcab, I'm not able to post it on, but I do have other order of operation songs that have been posted in our CTLS. So in your assignments, you'll be able to see those other videos that we can link into CTLS, okay? All right, so let's go back to our,
I watched this yesterday.
oh, awesome.
Me too. I
Yeah,
watched.
we all did it in our math assignments. This was part of our Nearpod yesterday.
Oh, it was in your Nearpod. There you go. Yeah. Oh, that's right. We did put that in there.
Yeah.
Good. So you can watch it in that Nearpod. And you can go back and rewatch it in that Nearpod too if you want to.
What Nearpod?
So yesterday we had a Nearpod on CTLS as an assignment. Okay, so if you're able to complete that, you're going to have to do that today. I will go over that when we get to the agenda. Okay, so I'll talk about all assignments when we get to the agenda at the end.
I know we did yesterday.
So at the top of page 3, you need to write that this is unit 1 and we're discussing order of operations, and you're going to write your I can statement for me. So in your journal, go ahead and write that.
Miss Ray,
Yes,
what page is this on?
page 3. We skipped page 2 in our journal just because some of us colored and it might have been too dark on that page. So I skipped page 2 and we went to page 3. So when we think about the order of operations, we really want to be thinking about a specific order that we solve problems, okay? And the word we think of is PEMDAS. So we're about to go over what each of the letters in PEMDAS means, but when we think of order of operations, we think of PEMDAS. I'm going to use my yellow highlighter. Highlight think. Bring it out on the page.
Is PEMDAS Egyptian?
No, it's just letters put together. That means something. All right. I'm going to zoom up just a little bit. All right. Our first letter in PEMDAS is the letter P. We're going to go and write P using 2 lines. So a nice big P. And then I want you to box it in for me like that. So the very first thing that we have to do when we are thinking of our order of operations is P. And P means, does anybody know from yesterday? Reagan? Parentheses. Good.
All brackets.
So parentheses, which look like this. And then Cole, you said brackets. So brackets look like this. And then there's something else. There's also another thing that we think of as well. Does anybody know what that third one is? It's something that people also put on their teeth to make them straight. What are those called?
Braces.
Braces. Braces is kind of a hard one to draw, but it's got a loop, a sharp edge, and another loop. And those are called braces. Okay. So we have parentheses, brackets, and braces, okay? Today, we're really only going to be looking at parentheses, okay? Later on, we'll start talking about brackets and braces. Okay. All right. After we look at our parentheses and we check to see that we solved everything inside those, then we're going to look at exponents. Exponents with a big E, box it in. And as 5th graders, we won't see exponents as much until we talk about powers of 10, okay? But exponents are when you have a number and then a little number up top like that, okay? Ryder, please stop. Thank you. All right, so the first thing is parentheses, then we look at our exponents, okay? Now we have 2 things to look at. Now we have our M and our D. Does anybody know what the M and D stand for? Ryan.
Multiplication and division.
Good. We have multiplication, which is a big M, and we have division, which is the big D. And we are going to box those in just like so. Okay. And we're going to write multiplication. And then we're going to write division here. And we know multiplication, we can use the X for multiplication. Does anybody know what other symbols we can use to show multiplication?
I don't know it, but I know one for division, and it's like the dash.
Ah, we'll get to that one soon. Good, Ethan. So multiplication, we can also use a dot in the center. We won't see that one as much, but that is another way to write multiplication. You can also use parentheses. You can use like 8 times 2. That also means multiplication. Our most common is going to be the X, like we're used to seeing. You might see this sometimes, and you rarely will see this dot. But those are different ways that you can see the multiplication symbol being used. We also have division. Our most simple division symbol is our bar with 2 dots on it, right? We know that one. And then Ethan, you said that you knew one. So Ethan, what's the other one that you said you knew?
It's the dash like this.
The slash, right? Yep. So we have our slash. I'm going to write it with a problem. 8 divided by. Good. Okay. Does anybody know of another way we could write it?
I think you can do, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, nah, probably not. I was gonna say like one of those just
Isn't it like
lines.
it's like the long
Yes,
line?
Mila. What is it, Alex? Which one? Can you draw it for me, Alex, and show me?
Oh, I know.
Like this?
Box.
Yes, good, Alex. Yes, yes, Mila. You and Alex both have the same one. So it is like almost like half of a box, right? And you've got,
It's long division.
oops, sorry. 8 goes inside and is divided by 2. 8 divided by 2, like that. Good. There's another way. Does anybody know another way? Bethany?
You can also do the big 7.
The big 7, which is similar to this one, right? Just with that line down it. So we could do the 8 divided by 2 with a big 7.
I know.
There's another way, Ryder. You think you know another way?
I know 2 actually.
Okay.
The box.
Can you show me what that looks like? Can you write it and show me? So I think that, is that
We used to,
a partial quotient? Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, we used to do it in 4th grade when we had
Yes.
Miss Gardner.
Yes, so there is that way as well, okay? But when we see this in our order of operations, we may not see it that way as much. But that is true, Ryder, good. We can also think of fractions. Fractions are also division, okay? We may not think of it like that, but that's something as 5th graders we're gonna learn. So if we have 8 halves, that means 8 divided by 2, okay? So that's another way for division. Now, multiplication and division are things that we look at the same time. So it doesn't matter if multiplication comes before division or division comes before multiplication. We are going to look at that problem from left to right and complete whichever comes first in our problem. So if division is first in our problem, we must do division before we do the multiplication. If multiplication is first in our problem, then we do that first. And we're gonna get some practice problems to understand that. In between these two things, we're gonna draw a big arrow like this. Oh, sorry. Nope. This is why we draw pencil. An arrow like this. And say from left to right. And we're gonna use our highlighter again. To highlight that, okay? We have 2 more letters in our PIMDAS. What are the last 2 letters? Just the letters.
AD.
Inbar, thank you for using your hand raising. What are the last two, Inbar?
Addition and subtraction.
So we have A. Good. And we have S. And those mean addition and subtraction. And we know addition as our plus sign. And we know our subtraction with our minus sign. Okay. And once again, with addition and subtraction, just like multiplication, division, whichever comes first from left to right is what we will solve first. So again, I'm going to use that same highlighter and highlight that. Okay. When you're finished copying this, I want you to turn to page 4 where we will continue notes today. We're going to solve a few problems together before class is over. So we're going to solve a few problems together in our journal so you have some good notes on how to solve problems. Good. All right, so we're going to flip to page 4. And at the very top of page 4, I'm going to write nice and big, PEMDAS. One way to show that we look at multiplication and division together is by using a bracket here to connect M and D. And the same thing with A and S, like that.
E and D.
So friends, I'm also recording this. So if you need to see this later, I'm going to have it recorded for you. So if I went too fast in the notes, you can watch that and get those, okay? So we have PEMDAS here. All right, now, our first problem. So number 1, it's going to be 8
Miss Ray.
times, yes, Ember. Was that Ember?
Yes, we can't see your whole screen.
Can you guys see PEMDAS at the top?
Yes.
Can you guys see where I'm writing number 1?
Yes.
Yes.
Ember, can you see that?
No, I can only see half of the M and DAS.
Okay,
Her screen, the screen might be frozen if she can only see half.
yeah. Inbar, I'm gonna have you log out of the call and come back in and I'll let you back in, okay? Inbar, can you see the full screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Nate. Nate, we are on page 4 in our journal. So go ahead and jump to page 4 in your journal, in your math journal, and start copying what we have, okay?
Okay.
All right. So we have 8 times We're going to start a parenthesis. 18 divided by 6. Okay. So knowing what PEMDAS is, where we have parentheses first, then exponents, and then we look at multiplication and division together, and then we look at addition, subtraction together. Looking at this problem, what are we going to solve first? Raising our hands. What is the first thing we are going to solve? Risa.
We are going to solve 18 divided by 6
Good, Risa. How'd you know to do 18 divided by 6 first?
because it was in parentheses.
Yes. I want you to highlight 18 divided by 6 because that's the first thing you have to do. You have to divide because it's in parentheses first. Raising our hands, what is 18 divided by 6? Think of how many times 6 goes inside 18. Ryan?
3.
Say it again, Ryan.
3.
3, good. Okay, so we drop down the 3, and then anything that we haven't solved yet must come down. So what are the things that we have not done yet? What do I need to drop down? Nate?
We haven't done times 8 yet.
We haven't done times 8. So we drop down our 8 times. And now, what do we need to solve in this problem? What do we need to do, Cole? Cole, sweetie, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, I don't know why my hand was raised. I didn't raise.
Okay. Bethany, what do we need to solve?
8 times 3.
Good, 8 times 3. What is 8 times 3? Reagan.
24.
24, good. That's one of our math facts, good job. And now we should box in our answer to show that we completed our problem, and our answer for number 1 is 24. Good
Can I
job.
circle it instead?
You can circle it as well, as long as it's nice and clear that I know it's 24. Okay. We're gonna skip a line and we're gonna write number 2, our second problem to solve. All right, and let's do.
Miss Ray.
Who is that?
Ryder.
Ryder?
Are we just like doing strategies, or are we practicing the?
We're practicing solving in the correct order of operations.
Okay.
You have to know how to solve things in the correct order, okay? So we have in parentheses 9 times 6, close our parentheses, minus 38. Now, raising our hands, what in this problem do we solve first, thinking about our order of operations? Ethan?
Could you repeat that?
Yes. So in this problem, what are we solving first?
Parentheses.
Good. And what's inside those parentheses, Ethan?
9 times 6, well, it equals 54.
Good. So 9 times 6, I want you guys to highlight 9 times 6 because that's the first thing we have to do in this problem. Good. And Ethan, what were you saying?
And then Or minus 38. That
So
is
hold
what's
on
going to
one
be our.
Good, thank you, Ethan. So let's
You're
take it one
welcome.
step at a time, okay? So 9 times 6 is 54, okay? And then anything we haven't done yet must drop down so we remember to do it. What do we still need to drop down in this problem? Alex, do you know what we need to drop down in this problem? No? So Alex, what have we not done? What have we not talked about in this problem?
You haven't taken the 38 down yet.
Yeah, we haven't dropped down to 38. Good job. So we're going to bring down our minus 38. And now we have
I need a break.
simple,
I know it is.
now we need a simple subtraction problem. I want you guys to try and solve it on your own and use your hand raise feature when you have the answer. See, most of us have it. Good. Reagan, what did you get? Did you say 16? Good job. So we have 16 here. Good. So our answer to this problem is 16. Good job. Hi, Peyton. We are in our math journal. And we're on page 4 in our math journal, okay? So go ahead and skip some lines down. We're gonna work on number 3 now for math. We are almost done with our live session, friends. And when we're done with our live session, you guys have, if you have a small group, make sure you go to the correct small group. If you have work you need to work on, make sure we're working on that, okay? So we have our number 3. And our number 3 is going to be, let's do, $14 divided by 2 times, parentheses, let's do 4 plus 5. Okay. And since on my page you can't see PEMDAS anymore, I'm just going to write PEMDAS here again so we can see it. Understanding the order of operations, what is our first step? What is our first step that we need to solve here? We look for what? Inbar, what do we look for?
The parentheses.
Yes, we look for our parentheses. What do we have, or do we have parentheses in this problem? Bethany, do we have any parentheses in this problem?
We do, and it's 4 plus 5.
Yes, we have 4 plus 5. I want you to get out your highlighter again, and let's highlight 4 plus 5 because that is our first step in this problem. We must solve the parentheses first. What is 4 plus 5? You can show me on your hands, everybody. Show me on your hands what 4 plus 5 is. There it is. Yes. Good. Thank you. We have 9. Now, we've solved the highlighted piece. We need to bring everything we haven't done yet down, okay? So we are going to bring down our 14 divided by 2 times the 9, okay? So we've done our parentheses. Are there any exponents in this problem? Show me by shaking your heads, yes or no. Are there any exponents with that little number? No, we don't have any exponents. So now there's two things we must look for. What are the two things we must look for? Ryan?
Multiplication.
That's one thing. Is there another thing that we look for? And division, yes. Multiplication and division. We have those two things. We look at them together. Whichever comes first from left to right. In our problem here, what's first? Division or multiplication in this problem? Risa, what's first?
Division.
Yes, that means that we must do our division first, okay? So I'm gonna take a different color highlighter for my second step. My second step is going to be 14 divided by 2. I know I must do 14 divided by 2 first. Showing with your hands, what is 14 divided by 2? 14 divided by 2. I see one answer, I see 2. Yes, good job, yes. Yes, guys, awesome. Good. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Once again, we still have things left over in our problem. Those things must come down so we don't forget about them. Drop down your multiplication. So we have 7 times 9. That is our final step for this problem here. Raising our hands using the raising hand feature. What is 7 times 9? Adeline?
63.
Good job, Adeline. We got 63. So our answer for this big problem up here is 63. Good job, you guys. All right, we need to write in our agendas so we know what work we need to work on today and what we need to do. So if you could get those agendas ready for me, we're gonna write that in.